Welcome to the Deucecast Extra. And of course, my internet is horrible right as the show is beginning. And
I was like, is Michael going to say something?
I just love that my internet decides to just crap out right when we're starting the show.
It does that every time, doesn't it?
Well, usually before we start the show, it doesn't. But
okay.
Hi, Ted.
I don't know. Yeah. Hey, what's up, Ted?
Yo, Ted, what's up?
We are here, of course, to talk about what, in my opinion, was a fantastic season finale of Bad Batch. And then also a little bit later, of course, we will talk about episode 5 of Mandalorian season 3. I'm going to start talking about the fact that this is the TV wing of the Deucecast Empire. And because I always forget, I'm going to start doing this at the beginning of every episode. We do have a movie podcast that releases every Wednesday. We have got a fantastic episode coming out tomorrow. Another tournament episode for those in the know.
A good day for a movie podcast? Is that the podcast you're talking about?
No, it's called the Deucecast Movie Show. Yeah.
I've heard of that. Yeah, okay.
And it's musicals and westerns. So it was very fun.
Got it right here.
One Roth from Wyoming put that tournament together for us.
It was masterful.
So it was masterfully done. We had a fun time, and so I look forward to everybody getting to hear that episode tomorrow.
The forgotten genres of old Hollywood.
That's basically the concept.
The forgotten genres.
So, like Walter Brennan from Rio Bravo 1, right? Is that what we're saying?
No, sorry, he did not.
Yeah, Walter Brennan.
He did not win.
Great character.
He's more of a sidekick though. He's like these are iconic roles.
That's an iconic.
Be more like Dean Martin or John Wayne from Rio Bravo.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah.
So let's dive in
here. You just have to listen, Garrison. Don't try to figure it out.
Don't overthink it, Garrison. Yeah, it is what it is. But we had two fantastic episodes, in my opinion, of the Bad Batch: The Summit and Plan 99 to end the season.
So good.
Wow. Action packed.
Yeah.
They no, not a new studio, Brian. I decided to change it up. The old Star Wars posters have been up there a long time, so I wanted to properly convey my love for all different types of movies. We've got the best Star Wars movie that's come out in the last several years, Solo represented. There's a bunch of stuff. That's Guardians of the Galaxy.
I've got an Andor poster.
Nerd stuff up above you too.
Yeah, there's a bunch of nerd stuff up there. Some Star Trek, Wrath of Khan. But anyways, that's not why we're here. I appreciate you noticing that though, Brian.
That's not why we're here.
Some people would call Wrath of Khan not as good as you remember.
I know.
People would be wrong.
Those people would be very wrong.
Yes, it is.
Some people would say they've never seen it.
How dare you?
What?
You need to rectify that. That's a great movie. Let's just sort of dive into these episodes a little bit. And talk about, so much happened. I would venture to say that they were the most emotional episodes for me, at least, of the season. I think Bad Batch, has been the storytelling has been good. There's not been every episode that's perfect. But these last two episodes were really well done. Animation's been the one thing that has been very consistent throughout the whole season is the animation. They have not slowed down at all on the quality of the animation whatsoever. I think the stuff in space, anytime there's a space scene, looks fantastic. The ships look really good. They're always really sharp. I loved it. We of course had some great cameos in these last two episodes.
Deception.
Ooh.
But it was the young.
I want to talk about that Saw Gerrera scene.
Oh man!
In my head canon, that person that he was talking to that was with him, I think that's Jyn Erso.
That's kind of what I was thinking too as I was watching.
Because her voice was
small.
Young, like she was small. The voice of that character was young.
Oh, I didn't think about
sounded.
That.
I think that's Jyn, man. I love it. In my mind, I'm like, this is awesome. If that's Jyn,
and she got shot, right? Didn't she?
She did. She got shot, but they made it off the planet just fine. Yeah. There was no concerns there.
Never saw her face, right?
Never saw her face. In fact, it looked like his whole crew made it off. Like he had, I don't know, like 4 or 5 guys. Yeah, I guess that's not an original thought, but I mean, I think that's
Gosh, I
it
did
had
not
to
hear
have
that.
been.
Oh, that's a great idea.
I don't think she would be that young though, Ted. I think she'd be a little bit older. I think she'd be.
Oh, well, she was born about the same time Luke and Leia, right?
Sure.
Is she? Well, is
No,
she?
I don't
Maybe
know.
not. Maybe that's Ezra I'm thinking of. That's
If
the
she's
same
born
age
at the
as
same
Luke.
time as Luke and Leia, she'd be a toddler.
Right.
Yeah.
So-
I think she's a little older. I don't know.
Well, what I was trying to remember while I was watching, because it's been a while since I've seen Rogue One, but did they ever give us like a year for when she ran away?
No, not for when she ran away. I mean, everything in
How
Rogue
old do
One.
you think she was when she ran away? Like 6?
6, yeah.
And so,
yeah, like okay, so
Well,
yeah,
it says 12 or 14.
if she's 14, that tracks for me. I mean, because the voice actress purposefully went young sounding for that
Now-
those few lines that character had.
Saw Gerrera's sister's dead at this point, right? Didn't
Yes,
she
she died in the
died.
Clone
Okay.
Wars.
Steve.
Yes,
Okay, that's right.
yeah, she's been dead for a minute. But Saw, man, he's like
They're
a
all
bull in a
dead.
china shop. He has no qualms
He
about
messed it up.
disruption. Well, and he didn't care. I mean,
He's a gorilla, right?
and that's kind of been the
terrorist.
problem that they've always had.
He's a very selfish character. He's about making himself
Lies.
the hero, and not actually about the
Mhm.
making
The
the universe
cause.
better. Yeah.
He's very narrow-minded in his plans.
Yes.
But it's
he
all
attacks
centered
what's in
around-
front of him and the problem that he thinks he can
Mm-hmm.
take care of right in front of him, and doesn't have a big picture plan.
Yeah, but again, it's all centered around him
Yep.
executing the things that need to
Yep.
be done. So
This was 15 years before A New Hope. Yeah, okay.
So
I
she's
mean-
probably mid-20s, maybe, when we meet her.
In
Right.
in Rogue One, you mean?
Yeah, Rogue One. Sorry.
Yeah.
Rogue One, she's 23.
Yeah.
Is what they
look,
get
I think this
online.
could work. I think it could work.
BBY, whatever. Okay.
Oh, well, how much time is between 3 and 4? 20? 19? Something like that?
Yeah. I don't think it starts right at the end, does it? I thought there were some years in between. I don't know.
No, it starts
Right at Order 66.
Yeah, it starts like during Revenge of the Sith, the beginning of Bad Batches.
Yeah, so maybe she'd be closer to 12 than 14 then.
Maybe it's
but-
not her.
I don't know. I like to think that
Theory
it's her.
debunked.
No, Dr. Earl. I think it's her.
Theory overthrown.
It just seems very strange to me to have a female
helper,
character with
yeah.
Saw
Yeah.
that has sort of a pitched down, like younger sounding voice. I mean, and it not be Jen, but I mean,
I still think it's Jin.
Mhm.
Us fans get so concerned with the numbers and aging everybody correctly.
Right. And look at how much
everything, Star Wars
Omega
and
can
Marvel
do.
both. Yeah.
I mean, look at how much Omega can do at her age.
Omega?
So there's no reason that Jen can't be.
yeah. I
as
mean, how old is
skilled.
Omega? Like 8? That she's like the size of an 8-year-old.
I think she's 10.
10-year-old.
10?
I
maybe,
think she's 10 now.
12.
Yeah. Because there was some time in between season 1 and season 2.
Rekka.
Rekka. Garrison, any
I didn't get tied up in these conspiracy theories. About
This
Jen.
is not a
I
conspiracy
didn't notice. I was just like,
You
whatever.
lying duck,
Saw in
ba-
his party.
body
I
soldier.
just thought it was part of his party too. Yeah. I didn't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Anything
Interesting.
in particular jump out? And we can talk about both episodes combined. We don't have to
Yeah, I love seeing Director Krennic.
Yes.
I just
That was awesome.
Yes.
I'll always take what is his name?
Ben Mendelsohn.
Ben
Mhm.
Mendelsohn, and also we got a trailer with him this weekend with in
Mhm.
Secret
Yes,
Invasion.
I'm
Yes,
excited.
we
That's
did.
Always take
Yes,
me
we
more
did.
Ben Mendelsohn. So
So it does
You mentioned
credit him
Stardust.
as in the credits, but I think they probably just pulled that from Rogue One, right? I mean, it was
No,
just
I
like
don't know.
I don't know.
just said
If-
okay Tarkin or yes Tarkin. I mean, that's all
They could have pulled him in for like a 2-second session. I don't know.
Especially
pretty expensive.
Especially if he's down at the Marvel Studios.
Yeah,
for-
Marvel
I was gonna
Studios
say,
just
maybe he's shooting
yeah.
Secret Invasion. They're like, speak
Yep.
into this phone real quick.
Yeah, exactly. Can you just talk into this phone? And it's we'll
He'd
just
say,
use it.
say okay, Tarkin. Who's Tarkin? I don't even know what that is.
Oh yeah, exactly. What's this Tarkin thing? Yeah, no, I loved the summit itself, just having
Yes.
and apparently look, I don't pay a close enough attention to any of this stuff, but apparently all those characters are canon. They've all been in stuff before. in the Clone Wars.
Except the new Doctor.
Well, except for Hemlock. Yeah,
Hemlock's
he's
awesome.
good. I love
Yes.
Jimmy Simpson's great as
He,
Hemlock.
I think, could be the perfect bad guy for the series, and I've been pitching it since last week on the show. But I was saying he needs to be the villain for season 3, and I'm so glad that we got kind of the setup for that, in all likelihood, happening.
My hopes for season 3 are like sky high.
At this point,
I think it would be the best season of the show.
If they don't have filler and I hate that term anyways, they're not filler episodes, but if they don't have like episodes that aren't part of,
cut off the fat,
just trim the fat.
We can do 6 episodes.
Well, no, look, even 10 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just give us 10 episodes of pure story without like taking breaks from stuff. We know Sid's not going to be around. Well, I mean, she'll be in the series, I'm sure, but we know they're not doing missions for Sid anymore.
No,
so that'll take away.
Done with the missions. They're going to be fully focused on getting Omega back.
And
that's very exciting.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm sure that she'll be in the series in some capacity. I think she obviously regrets what she did. There was certainly some animation scenes.
I don't need a Sid redemption arc, honestly.
Well, and I
felt like she came to her natural conclusion. And
I think it'd be great if Hunter went back. And the opening of season 3 is Hunter just like shooting her. That would be fine with me. That'd be awesome.
Like
give a little more edge
betrayed
to
us.
Hunter, and
you betrayed us. Bam.
I think that she'll.
What if
come
Hunter
around.
is framed for her murder?
Oh, I don't know. I think it'll be a Lando situation, and she'll come around and help them do something. I mean, and redeem herself.
It's the way of Star Wars.
It's the way of Star Wars. Everybody gets redeemed.
She felt bad.
Yeah. Oh, she did. She looked like she did. I mean, they specifically
Wanda
made
Sykes. We're gonna have a Wanda Sykes morning tech scene.
Yep, she'll be back. Fee will be back, I'm sure.
Fee, that's her name.
Now,
yes, Brian. Yes,
this
I feel
is
like we need Sid in an airlock compression arc. Yes.
Guys, this is Star Wars, and we didn't see the body get crushed or
true.
A spike or.
Tech is very smart. He's very smart.
Do you think there's a possibility Tech is still alive?
100%. That they would never. They would not have Hemlock bring the glasses back, throw him down at Hunter's feet. Make a big deal out of that for him. He's not dead.
I don't know.
I don't think he's dead.
See, the way I read the glasses thing, I read that more so as like
finality.
Yeah, finality and like them. Now it could certainly happen. I don't want Tech to live. I like.
Yeah, look at this. Dead. Look at Fett. Fett knows.
Fett knows all, but
Tech lives.
I think it would be much better if they kept him dead.
I like Tech.
And him showing the glasses was their way of getting around showing the dead body in a cartoon.
I agree, but I'll also say this. I don't like it when they kill off a character and then bring him back, especially when it's used in such a effective story way, because then it kind of, I feel like when you go back and you watch those things, it's not as effective to me. But I also feel like Tech was kind of coming into his own as a character finally, and was starting to kind of have his own character arc out of the shadow of some of the other characters.
Wanda was wanting to love him up,
just starting to get going, and then he sacrifices himself. It's like, oh, okay.
I guess the question is, here's what I'll say: if season 3 is our last season,
I think it will be.
I could see. Yeah. I think he stays dead. If season 3 is not our last season, they bring him back in season 3.
You might be right.
Like, think about Rebels. They killed Kanan. Spoiler alert.
That's true. And, that's a big spoiler alert. But yeah, you're right.
That was real.
Yeah, and so like they kept him dead, and like that had a big impact on the show and helped that final season of Rebels a lot.
Well, I mean, this certainly will propel Omega forward in a revenge type situation against Hemlock or the Empire in general, I guess. I mean, so sure. I mean, yeah, maybe keep him dead. I don't know. I mean,
yeah, I guess maybe I still have a little bit of disdain for the character of Omega. She can be annoying. And so I'm more so thinking like the Bad Batch's like part, which is why I'm so hopeful for season 3, is like Hunter and Echo and Wrecker like if it's all just focused on getting Omega back with a little bit of Omega and Crosshair stuff, like I think that's a
It's going to be
really
a good
good time. And I would rather see the Bad Batch be this vengeful group than Omega become like vengeful and angry.
Yeah. And I'm excited that Gonki has a friend now that AV's joined the crew, because he was on the ship. Gonki, I think AV ended up on the ship. So yeah, I mean, Gonki needs a friend. Now that Omega's not around, Gonki needs somebody to talk to.
You've
so
got a friend.
I didn't realize AV was a medical droid. I had no idea.
Oh yeah, very much
That's
like
what,
the
yeah.
They were like, or isn't that the same droid that was pulling babies out of Padme?
Oh no. That droid looked different.
Did it? Okay.
This one we saw
in Revenge of the Sith.
When Padme died.
I think that's a different.
Nova.
His name is Luke.
Nova.
Well, because I'm just talking about in episode 16, Plan 99, they specifically said, let's get Omega to AV because AV's a medical.
AV, which was the first time we saw him was in Clone Wars in that arc with the clones in the medical facility.
Yeah, I had forgotten about all that.
Right?
Yeah, I had forgotten about all that.
Yeah,
I totally forgot about all that. So
is his name AV? What is his name? I don't remember.
AV,
I think it's AV.
Oh, okay.
Audiovisual.
Yeah, AV something or other.
Yeah, AV something.
It's a long. Probably. The actual name's really long, if I remember, but yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, so yeah, he's with the crew now, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I don't want to go too quickly because we're trying to stall for Rhett to get here for Mando.
So we had the whole plan to go rescue her, right?
Yes,
and
that's right.
Yeah. You were talking about the animation. I really liked.
Yeah.
When they were creeping through the woods, you saw the shadows coming down through the foliage. I thought that was great.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we've seen that before. They've been doing a lot of stuff with textures and light. And
oh yeah, it looks fantastic.
Water and
that's all. I mean, just to shout out,
amazing,
that's got to be Joel Aaron and his team. I mean, he's the one that has for years. He worked on Clone Wars. I think he's working on this series. Obviously, I mean he does the elements and the shadows and all of that stuff. I mean, it looks so good. I mean, it's just, and I know it's a big team, but I think he probably heads the team.
I mean, I love just the tension of that whole tram thing where the explosion happened. Both their trams.
More trams in Star Wars. I mean,
there's guys shooting on them.
Solo had a tram scene too.
That's
true. Come on.
That's true. Tech is up there trying to fix stuff. You're wondering if he's going to get shot. What's going to happen?
The tension and the Kiner score. I know we say it every week. The Kiner score was so good. I mean, he just knows how to do Star Wars.
It just makes the Mandalorian score. I mean, I hate to jump on the Rhett train.
What? No. I actually was okay with this week's score on Mando.
I agree that I was
okay.
I was okay on this week's score of Mando. I think it's the best one so far.
It's the best one so far.
Still, it's not.
It's so unmemorable.
Yeah.
I think this week had a couple of moments where I was like, okay, I like that music was actually good. It was good.
Some of there's a Mando theme they've got.
Oh sure, yeah, the Mando theme whenever he's in the ship or whatever. Yeah, I mean they have, or whenever he does anything.
And maybe it's a Bo-Katan theme. There's some theme they've got that's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. And I know there's the Mandalorian theme, but I was talking about like I don't know if you'd call it Mandalorians. Or is it a Bo-Katan thing? I haven't quite figured it out yet because they played it when she was in the castle, and I thought, oh, that's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, I guess
like way back, like I don't remember what episode, maybe 2 or something, 1 or 2.
So anyway, a couple interesting things that I got out of the summit episode when Hemlock was kind of talking through his plan. He specifically said that this was very much a part of what the Emperor wanted to be happening with his research that he was doing. So he made a point in front of Tarkin to say this is all for the Emperor, and that's why we need all the. And I love that the nuance of the script. They're talking about you're wanting a lot of money for this. I mean, they're like going so deep as to talk about stuff like that. I love that kind of stuff.
I like how some of the other generals were even like, well, now wait a minute, I served with the clones.
Yeah.
You know, like they weren't really on board with this, you know.
He didn't like Tarkin's interpretation of what the clones were and what they did.
He said they're problematic or something. Is that what he said?
He says something. I can't remember exactly.
I thought he said
he said that they were problematic. Because
he started mischaracterizing, a lot of what they did on the battlefield. And
that the Jedi inspired a lot of self-think in them.
Right.
And that's problematic or traumatic.
And that's problematic for troops. Yeah.
I don't know if he said problematic, but he said some word that was like kind of dismissing them.
This is funny, Brian. There was maybe a few beats. Yeah, losing Omega was starting to be be a possibility, and he was sitting there screaming, "No!" Well, you just never know when that tram wrecks into the thing. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it was a very intense 2 episodes.
In that moment when they were going to crash this was right after Dude Man
Tech
cut
falls.
off.
Yeah,
Tech falls and the tram crashes. I thought, wow, did we lose another one? Like
I thought maybe
oh
that I thought they were going to do that. I thought maybe Wrecker didn't make it, or you didn't think like one of the other
kid
clones.
show, guys. Come on, only one down. Yeah,
but it was pretty intense. Like I think I was mouth agape through some of those scenes.
Yeah, Ted, I mean, I do watch Mando first, but if I had known how good these 2 episodes of Bad Batch were, I probably would have watched those first.
So
I do Mando first too, Ted.
I got a text from a friend on Wednesday night saying, Wednesday afternoon saying the Bad Batch episodes are great. The finale's great, and I went.
So
okay,
you watched them.
I watched that first.
Good for you.
I stay up for Mando, but I do not stay up to watch Bad Batch.
Yeah, he does because it's only like midnight where you are.
1 a.m.
1 a.m.
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
I mean, look, if I was West Coast or Mountain, I would definitely stay up.
West Coast.
I don't know if I'll be doing that tonight, though. I'm kind of tired. We'll see what happens.
Ted, I used to agree.
So.
I used to agree, but now I feel like Filoni's going to have them off in some other place.
Yeah, I think they'll end up on Pabu or wherever.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it'll end up. I think it's going to be a happy ending for our Bad Batch brothers.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I'm starting to turn the corner on.
I don't know.
Let's not kill anybody now.
For the most part, I feel like they're gonna have a happy ending. Maybe
I want everyone to live now, and
we're just going to live here.
They go with Zeb to bring all the Lasats back to Lasan.
Karabast. I really wish he would have said that in this episode, given us a little Karabast for old time's sake.
Zeb,
that episode of Mando.
My spirit animal.
I love Zeb. Anyways, that's Mando. We can't jump ahead here.
Oh, sorry,
I'm trying to think of anything else pertinent. There was a couple.
So I like that this was almost like if you've ever watched Valkyrie when they tried to blow up Hitler in that bunker, it failed.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I feel like here we had Saw trying something similar, like he's going to take out
on Iriadu. Yeah.
Tarkin, and it failed. You know, they weren't able to put all their things in there because they didn't get all the things in place or something.
Well, I don't know that they were ever planned. They figured on placing all of the explosions in the base of that.
No, he was definitely going to try to blow up that whole building,
the whole castle.
Yeah.
I
think they got thrown off.
They got alerted and had to get out.
They had to get out.
Speaking of Valkyrie, Tom Cruise has a fake button Valkyrie.
Wait, what are we looking at?
That's Tom Cruise and Valkyrie. It's Tom Cruise and Valkyrie.
I think that's Tom's real ass.
That's America's
podcast I listen to. That's their favorite running bit. Anytime they have anybody on that has worked with Tom Cruise, they show him the picture and say, "Is this real?"
Who does that?
Lights, camera, Barstool, or Lights, camera, action. Yeah,
Lights, camera, action. Yeah,
all from Valkyrie. Yeah.
All from Valkyrie. That's pretty funny. Or as Dave calls it, Der Maverick.
I know a podcast that has had Tom Cruise on there. They should have asked him.
They should.
That was a great episode. That's what brought me to that podcast, actually.
Light the fuse.
Light the fuse. We can go
ahead.
Plug. We've been plugging a lot of podcasts here tonight.
Yeah.
Only listen to the Deucecast.
Yeah. That's right. No. The Deucecast is the only thing I ever listen to. Not true at all. I listen to too many podcasts. Yeah, I do. I listen to way too many. I was trying to think through one other thing that I wanted to bring up. Oh, obviously the big cliffhanger at the end, the sister.
Yes.
New Zealand theory, correct.
New Zealand theory, correct.
Yeah.
He's a castle huge.
That was my least favorite part of this finale because I just went, no, other people can have New Zealand accents. Why does Django have one? Where does he come from? What?
It's Bad Batch. Jeez.
I thought that was an interesting twist.
Is Django himself a clone from somewhere else that we don't know? But I mean, where do these New Zealand accents come from?
Maybe it's all. I mean,
and our New Zealand. Here's also my other issue: are New Zealand accents genetic? Or because most accents
you're overthinking it. You're overthinking it.
Most accents come through your environment.
Yeah, you're overthinking. Oh, Ted did not think that was. I guess I'd forgotten. Ted did not think that was going to be any relation.
Yeah, which one of us said that was going to be the
same? I figured.
I said it wasn't.
Michael.
I think
was also team was
Michael.
Only because it was Keisha Castle Hughes. I was like, it's a New Zealand accent. I mean, why not? I mean, it seemed
another Maorian person.
It seemed obvious to me. I mean, that they were good. I didn't feel vindicated though, because I don't think it's a good. I don't know. It depends on what they do with it. It could be awesome. It depends on what they do.
I mean, look, I'll let it play out, but I'm frustrated that the literal theory hinged on her accent.
That's what my theory was.
People were proven correct.
Yeah,
because it wasn't just you.
Yeah. I know there was a lot. It was going around. Yeah,
I saw other people pitching the theory just based on the accent, and
that's kind of like what I was like. Yeah, that's got to be why they're doing this. I mean, why not have her on there?
Is Crosshair mind wiped? I know she found him.
No, I don't think he's been mind flayed.
Crosshair.
No, he's. Remember, she said he was recovering.
He's in a coma, I think.
He's
like
a medically induced coma.
Yeah.
And when he wakes up, there's going to be stink.
I mean, look, he. This could go so many ways. I think that in the end. What's her name? Emery Carr. I think she'll turn around and help Omega. I mean, Nala Se is very conflicted about the whole thing. And what about Nala Se saying what the Emperor wants to do is not going to work? That was awesome. Because we know it doesn't end up working.
That is until Mandalorian one and Guy invents strand casting.
But even then, it didn't work, really. Snoke was a hot mess.
Yeah.
I mean, and the Emperor's whole thing didn't really...
He's still alive, though.
Somehow.
I mean...
powerful, too.
Somehow he came...
He is all the Sith.
He's all I'm all the Sith.
Yeah, and all his chanting acolytes in the crowd.
No, Rhett, I am not putting you on like that. Just
no.
Okay, we'll do it for a second. What?
Why? What's wrong with that?
What? I'm remote.
Flip your camera.
Are you driving?
Why?
No,
he's gonna dox himself if he flips his camera. It's gonna be like,
you're at Buc-ee's.
How do I do this? No, I don't know.
Just turn off the lock on your phone and flip it like this instead of like this. There you go.
Oh, look at that.
Look here. No,
that's
I'm
a producer right there.
No, I'm at Buc-ee's.
Can we see Buc-ee's? I want to see Buc-ee's for a second.
Yeah.
I want to show the people Buc-ee's. Look at that. Look at that beautiful. Look at that beautiful Buc-ee's.
That's beautiful.
Beaver.
Coming to Brunswick very soon.
I'm very excited for you guys.
Sorry, where are you? Are you still talking about Bad Batch?
Yeah, we're still doing Bad Batch.
We're really about to wrap it up.
Honestly, we're waiting for you to talk about.
Did you watch it, Red?
No, do another 30 minutes on Bad Batch.
Okay. We'll try. Yeah, if you're out there, it's going to take you a good 30 minutes to get back home.
Yeah, 20 minutes.
Okay, we'll
Rat with a hand.
We'll try.
Rat always wears a vest when he drives.
I mean,
this is going to be. You know this is going to be a problem for the last 3 episodes of the season, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. This is what you get.
Look, I'm stuck in rehearsal. I got rehearsal.
I know.
I'm big time.
You're big time. I know you are. That Leeds community theater is so huge.
Yeah, no, that's I've got full creative control.
It's discovered, and I get to critique his acting on a movie.
Dude, look, I gotta show what Brian said because this is very accurate. With the Han Solo cosplay.
Always
great.
Yeah.
That is
all right.
fantastic.
I'll see you in a minute.
Okay.
All right.
Start without me. I'll get there when I get there. Don't worry about it.
Maybe. Yeah. We'll
right,
see
man.
what
We're going to
happens.
have to.
See you later.
We're out of the... That's awesome.
That was pretty funny. The Han Solo cosplay. Oh my gosh. We can't stretch this for another 30 minutes for him. I mean, I don't know.
Not 30, but there are definitely things to talk about.
Okay,
still.
we can talk about some more stuff then.
Todd Garrison.
You're the one that said there's more to talk about, so go ahead.
How do we? Well, I'll say something. So what do we think? Crosshair. Obviously, he's going to have a redemption.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, sure. He's fully redeemed at this point.
I was actually kind of surprised we didn't get more Crosshair in these last 2 episodes.
I was too.
He's in a coma. He's
thought
coming.
That was an interesting choice.
Medically induced coma.
Yep.
But yeah, he'll be a big part of the 3rd season. Look, if they don't make a 3rd season, like they've had, it has to be done already. They've probably completed, or they're probably
let's not say done, but they've probably got the scripts done and probably a lot of the voice acting done, and they are probably working on the episodes currently.
Because they've got to work far ahead, and I don't want to wait another 2 years, because it was 2 years between season 1 and 2.
Well,
I don't want to wait 2 years.
I'm sure they're working on it, but man, that standoff scene where
and look, and
that
just
was awesome.
Not to interrupt you, but Iger's directive to Lucasfilm was Star Wars only. So,
excuse me.
Did you not see that?
No, sorry. That was not.
Oh, okay.
Scoop. We got a scoop. We got a scoop.
No, it is not a scoop.
Okay.
I'll speak after.
Okay, that's fine. But that's what Iger's directive was to Lucasfilm. Forget Willow. Forget this Han Solo series. Or I'm sorry, this Indiana Jones series that you wanted to do. Star Wars only. So the Bad Batch is going to be a thing. Bad Batch season 3. They're not going to like cancel Bad Batch at this point.
Oh no, it's really good this year.
It's crazy that there's so many people that are, and Rhett is definitely one of them, that won't watch something if it's animated. That just like but he watches certain things that are animated, but refuses to watch Star Wars animation. And it's going to end up being annoying, I think, for people that are not familiar maybe with Ahsoka even, because we're about to have an Ahsoka series. You would hope that people would start going back and watching some of that character's development. I mean,
wouldn't it be fascinating if they like put out a message on Disney Plus, like in this episodes of The Mandalorian of Filoni coming on and be like, hey, I think you guys should go watch Rebels. It'll be really important for this Ahsoka stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, he should say, hey, we got a couple of months here. Here's my recommendation.
Here's the episode arcs that you need to watch.
Here's my prescription for you. You will watch one Rebels a night.
Yeah, like the video before movies. Like, thanks for
hi everybody
on Disney Plus. But also, I'd love for you to check out Rebels season 5, episode 4.
Right.
Here's a list of the movies. If you go to whatever or the shows.
Yeah.
I mean, you would.
Clone Wars Rewatch.com. Clone Wars Rewatch.com.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, see, I don't know, Brian. I mean, this is a good question, though. Do you think they will dumb down the Ahsoka series or explain previously on Clone Wars?
Well, it would be fascinating.
Wow.
It would be really cool if they like did some previously on stuff and they just did it in live action. But that would spoil like the reveal of like Thrawn and Ezra, you know what I mean? So that probably wouldn't work. Thinking it out.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, and they almost don't have to. They've obviously introduced the Ahsoka character, so whether people watched the animated series or not almost doesn't matter at this point, because now they'll be able to just play off of the live action stuff. And although we know Sabine and Ezra are going to be a big part, they've been cast, they're going to be a big part of it, but they can explain that. They can explain all that.
Is they should treat the beginning of the show just as if nobody knows about the stuff in the past, that Rebels never existed.
Right.
And it's just Ahsoka on a search for an old Jedi friend.
Mm-hmm.
She was kind of helping train and stuff. Mm-hmm. And
that's
like
good.
Just kind of jump off like that, where like throw us in the middle of it, but you don't have to just give us like all of this massive backstory.
Yes,
so you just have to explain the things that are relevant.
Right.
And look, so there are several movies and TV shows that have dealt with similar things like this before, but you just got to write the story well and also incorporate a tiny amount of backstory without overwhelming the audience, and throw in Easter eggs that only people who would understand what those things are will get them, and to elevate those fans and to elevate those fans' enjoyment of the series.
We can clap with excitement.
We can clap with excitement.
Oh, I got that one.
To elevate those fans' enjoyment of the series. But also, if they don't know those things, they're not hindered by that.
They're still enjoying it. They're still enjoying it.
They're still enjoying it. Yeah. I mean, look, it'll come down. It's going to be like a delicate. What are you guys laughing at?
Is Rhett communicating with you somehow?
Oh, Garrison is.
The world.
Jacob said.
You're gonna have to definitely be careful with that, though. They can't like throw too many. I don't know. It's gonna be a tightrope. It's gonna be interesting to see what they do with that. But
Thrawn is coming. We know it.
I mean, the really basic thing is you could just be like, "Hey, Ezra is gone, and Ezra's this important character that disappeared."
Ezra's yet another Jedi that survived Order 66.
I just thought of a theory for the end of the Mandalorian episode.
Okay, well, let's
save
that.
Save that. I'm going to write it down because
write it down.
Don't lose it. Don't lose it.
Yeah, save that that theory because I think I might be thinking the same as you in certain.
Interesting.
Things, but.
So, are we done with the Bad Batch yet?
I mean, we can be, but I kind of wanted to like give Rhett a chance to get home. But man, that's a long drive from where he was.
He's got probably 40 minutes.
Well, Ted, this is true. I mean, good writing is something we don't get very often nowadays. Everybody has to put their agenda. Well, look, Ted. I mean, you're right. I mean, that's not. Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. But I think that Star Wars, for the most part, has been somewhat insulated from that. At least in the Disney Plus series. I haven't felt that yet in any of the Disney Plus series.
It's coming.
The Acolyte hasn't come out yet.
Fair. That's fair.
It will be rife with agenda.
Well, we'll see.
I also want to say,
yes.
In today's world, there's about 40 billion projects that get made every year. In Hollywood. So there actually is some good writing out there, just sadly not as popular as some of the stuff that is popular today.
Look, I felt like these Bad Batch episodes were really well written.
They were well written. No, they were.
I think maybe like these last 4 were kind of pretty good. I mean, maybe last 5 even. And I'm going to throw Pabu in there because even though that felt like it was an episode that didn't jive with everything else, I mean, it ended up being kind of important.
I'm going to disagree.
So you don't think the Outpost was well written? That was episode 12?
I know. Pabu.
Okay, so you're just going to say Pabu out of like the last 1, 2. Like
I'm not going to say 5. Not well written. I don't know. It just
wasn't snappy dialogue.
Wasn't for me.
Yeah. Well, speaking of snappy dialogue, I mean, there were some struggles.
I think 11 out of the 16 this season were very good.
Yeah, and that goes to show you that they probably should not have had 16 episodes of this. I mean, that was ambitious.
Like, did we really need anything in the Oliver episode?
No.
Did that serve a purpose?
Wait, which one?
The Oliver. The one that was like Oliver Twist. Yeah, no, it didn't.
The guy.
That arc in general didn't, because that was like a 2-part episode kind of. I mean,
like,
those. It
the
felt like it
served was we getting more of Tech and his character and him and Omega coming closer together.
Yeah. That's kind of like what
spread some of that stuff out to some of the other stuff.
Yeah, you can easily do that with that other episodes.
And more irritation about Sid. It's kind of been building until now.
Building since season 1. But
I mean, I'm glad that she ended up being like a bad, like evil. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, and impactful.
Yeah, I mean, she did impact. Yeah, very much so.
She may have regretted it, but ultimately she made the choice, and that will stay with her forever.
Look, and without Sid, we didn't get Ord Mantell, so I'm glad that we got Sid.
Yeah.
So we got to see some Ord Mantell. That was big.
A lot
That's
of it.
old school Star Wars right
We
there.
could have seen Ord Mantell without Sid.
Without Sid.
I didn't dislike Sid that much. I just always felt like she was an evil character.
Yeah.
And like,
well,
it wasn't that I
this
disliked
season.
Sid.
Yeah.
It was I disliked that they were just continuing in season 2 of going on these missions,
these
side
one-shot
quests
missions
to get like, oh, I'm super low on money, so in this video game I have to go help the lady cross the street. Like,
right. And then
Yeah.
half the time they would botch it and it wouldn't happen.
right.
And they wouldn't come back with the mine.
Them helping the lady cross the street turned into them being like blowing up the whole city and being trapped underneath it.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Great job, guys. Did you get the loot? Nah.
They get trapped on the speed bus.
Whoa.
Whoa.
That's what we need Keanu in the Bad Batch.
Am I back? Yeah. I'm thinking I'm back.
I'm back.
Yo, what's he saying? Speed pop quiz hot shot.
Yeah.
That was his thing in Speed.
Oh, well, that was more what's yeah.
I'd have to interject. One of my favorite things about the John Wick films is the fact that they don't feel like they have to give him so many lines.
No,
so sometimes a character will say something to John Wick and he will just not respond, but he will respond with his face or a movement, and the other character will be like, and just continue.
But that was all Keanu, though, because he had way more lines.
Yeah,
and he pulled them all back.
I respect the heck out of that.
Yes, I do too.
Because his line delivery is terrible, but that's fine.
Yeah,
it's so monotone. It's awesome.
We don't need. Yeah, we don't go to Keanu movies for like Shakespeare. I mean, we're not really necessarily expecting that from him all the time.
But his stunt work is fantastic. I mean, it's clear he works on one thing really well.
Yeah, he works
hard. He learned
hard.
how to shoot a gun.
Yeah.
Yes, he did, and reload one. Because that's all him actually doing that. I mean, I mean, he's
and they make sure, like, they tell you the magazine capacity, and like that's the amount of shots we get, and then he reloads.
Right. What is this? I know Vapt.
Vapid?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't think that's how you spell Vapid, but
I
don't know what it's referring to.
Is that a Keanu movie?
Oh, I think that's a Star Wars fighting style.
Oh
no! Cursory Google search.
Yeah,
search it. All right.
Oh, it's Form 7, of course. If you would have referred to it as Form 7, I'd known. I'm just kidding. That's from a Google search.
Form
there are people who actually refer to it that way.
Yes.
Form 7.
That's how it pops up on
how
Wikipedia.
I've heard of it before. Yeah.
All right. As much as I would like to have Rhett here, because he certainly has a different opinion of the Mandalorian season 3 specifically.
This will get us time to talk about it, and then he can come in and overrun us with it.
But I don't want to stall just to let him come in and crap on the show, because that's all
what I'm saying. Let's go.
We can sing its praises, and then we'll defend it.
And then we'll defend it because that's.
I respect Rhett's.
We'll even say our cons, and then he'll come in with even crazier cons.
All of his are perfect.
Yeah.
I don't want to steal his thunder because I kind of know like how he feels about the show.
He's a Deucecast no more.
He's a Deucecast.
Sorry, I'm trying to imitate that.
All right, so let's jump in to the 5th episode of Mandalorian season 3, which crazy. This show has gone 3 seasons now. It starts kind of fast paced, I guess, in a way, because the pirates come back to Navarro.
Gory and Shand or Shard.
Shart.
You said it, Mike.
I am Gory and Shard.
That's your Spaceballs parody, I guess.
I am okay with this character now, and in fact, I'm so okay with this character now that I'm bummed if he's actually dead.
I think he is dead.
I think I'd be fine with him being dead.
I rewatched
I think he served his purpose.
scene. I rewatched the scene when his is it a Corsair or whatever?
Yeah, it crashed into the mountains.
Whenever it crashed, to see if there was any escape pods. I like rewatched it. I kept rewatching it over and over again because I started to like the Smee character too, like his little,
the little
his little Ugnaught guy. Yeah, he's dressed like Smee. I was like, this is awesome.
I'm like, are we watching? Is this supposed to be Captain Hook?
That is hilarious. I did not make that connection.
Yeah, no, he was dressed like Smee with a little cap on.
Yeah, the little cap and the little sash. It was awesome.
I kind of felt like Dorian kind of served his purpose as like a monster of the week. Now that Vane will continue to come back. Yeah.
Now, okay, so if they bring Vane back for Skeleton Crew, because you don't make a show called Skeleton Crew and not have it be about pirate stuff.
Vane and Hondo. There you go.
Ooh,
I like that, Garrison.
I like that a lot.
I'm not the first
person.
Right? I've seen people online saying this.
Ted, I'm with you, man. We did not see a body.
Okay,
Dorian could be alive.
In most cases, I will say we didn't see a body. Maybe he's alive. That's a giant ship that exploded into a fireball.
Yeah.
He burned like a Christmas tree.
I'm gonna need some explanation as to how he didn't burn.
Got some deep fried seaweed now.
Like a fern. He would he looked like a chia pet.
Yeah.
I liked the character design. I thought the character design was unique and like
cool.
we hadn't seen really something like
it's
that.
It's very Star Wars.
A little bit better, but yeah, I like it.
I think this particular episode felt more Star Wars than the previous episodes. I think. I mean, they did a really good job of just the vibe of it.
I think this episode of this season was the most Mandalorian episode we've gotten so far. It felt like a return to baseline Mandalorian. I'm not saying peak Mandalorian, but it felt like a return to baseline Mandalorian.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
Which for this season is its peak so far. But I'm hoping that we'll stay at that level and then maybe go up at the end, and we'll all be like, well, those first 4 episodes were important to set up a story, but hopefully we don't have to go through that again.
We can forgive them. We can forgive them.
Yes. Yeah. Forgive and forget.
Maybe even Rhett can forget.
No, he's so done. He's so done with this series that it's like, I mean, it's sad, but you're right. Maybe something could be so good that it brings him back. And look, it's not like he's the only person that's feeling this way about this particular season, because if you're honest with yourself, the first 4 episodes, at least, the quality did dip a bit from season 2.
I gotta say, I agree that there was a different quality, but I do think episode 5 pulled a lot of people back. I got a lot of friends who are Star Wars casuals, and they were all like, "Yeah, episode 5 was great," and I'm excited for the rest of the season.
This concept of a Star Wars casual has always baffled me a bit. Like, how can you be a Star Wars casual? Like, what? I don't understand that concept.
They just kind of watch it, and
they don't get nerdy and deep into the lore. They just watch the things that come out.
The ones that come out,
and
say,
don't.
I mean, I guess I do that with Star Trek, so maybe
they don't
you're
necessarily
right.
watch everything either, but they watch like Mando.
They probably don't watch the animated stuff. I'm guessing.
I would say for the most part, yes. Although probably I have one of them I would consider casual. He watched none of the sequel trilogy, but he's been watching Bad Batch and Rebels and Clone Wars.
Interesting. Okay.
And see, like I had my roommate in college. Well, one of my roommates in college was a big Star Wars guy, equivalent to me. The other one had seen the movies kind of, but I think
he hadn't seen them 500
showed
times.
Them all to him. He was like, "Oh wow, I had barely seen the prequels. I don't remember any of that stuff." And now he's watched Clone Wars. He's watched Bad Batch. I think he might have even watched Resistance.
Hey, I'm right there with Resistance. There was some good stuff.
I'm sorry,
but he's not the deep diver of it. He's not reading books.
He's not reading the DK books, guys.
He's not going to watch the Young Jedi show that is going to be on.
He's
Disney.
not
probably aware of
it. Back shows with the Jedi Quiz Temple or whatever that was.
Keller and goggles.
Yes. Hey, I mean, it is what it is. So Grief Karga, he's kind of, reaching out back to
I like Grief Karga in this episode.
I always love Carl Weathers.
Oh, I do too.
There's something about Carl Weathers.
So look, Fett is with me. Thank you, Fett. Yes, distance.
I literally physically cannot do it.
You physically cannot do it.
I've tried 3 times.
Some of the humor in it is just painful.
I didn't even know there was humor in it.
Okay, what's Brian saying about OG Star Wars 90?
that's
Watch
true,
everything.
Brian.
I'm always surprised when people my age do not watch it all. Yeah, and there is some, well, except for the people that are just anti-animation. I mean, because there are those people out there that it doesn't matter what it is, if it's an animated something,
Well,
they're not going to
adults.
spend time.
They're adults who say that's kid stuff. I'm not going to watch it.
Right. So even OG 1977 fans, there's people that just won't watch animation. I mean, just for whatever stupid reason. I mean, they need to listen to GDT about animation. I mean, his quote?
It is
recently?
not a genre. It is a medium.
A medium. That's right. Boom.
Mic drop.
Mic drop
so
by
when's
GDT.
the first Deucey Best Picture nom for an animated film?
How dare you? I thought we'd had one already.
I'm actually
don't we
pretty
have best
confident you may have.
We have best animated. What are we talking about?
Ted was waiting for the ladies' man to ask the rebel pie to sandwich.
Would you like one of them
fish sandwiches? Okay, here I will say that. Okay, so Mandalorian in general, I am a bit tired of the comedian cameo thing. I'm a bit like.
I love seeing Tim Meadows there.
I'm a big Tim Meadows fan. I watched Goldberg's. I even watched Schooled, which was the Goldberg spinoff. I know.
You go deep, Tim Meadows, man.
Have you seen the film The Ladies' Man?
No, I have not.
Yes.
He's part of one of my favorite of like all time movie running jokes with the drug stuff and what's the movie? It's the Walk Hard.
School Days. Walk Hard.
Yep.
Yeah.
With the can I have some of that weed? Is it habit forming? No, not at all. Will I get hungover? No, man, not at all.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't want any of this.
He's great in Pop Star Never Stop.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not saying that he's not a good actor by any means, but
or he's not funny, but it felt weird to see him there. I think for me too,
it just
because I was so used to him in the comedic roles.
Bill Burr works in Mando, but Tim Meadows for me took me out. Tim Meadows took me out of that scene. Now the second time I watched it, I was used to it, and so it felt okay. But some of the slapstick stuff with the droid, I mean, it's just like, go put those on my desk, and the droid puts it on his desk, and he's just now.
So Kane is there. Kane is deeply infiltrated.
She's very much infiltrated. Yeah,
I was like, well, now wait a minute. What planet are they on? Are they on Coruscant?
They went back to Coruscant because.
Okay, did they? Okay.
Yeah. He had to go.
It just seemed weird to see her there because I was like,
so I agree that to respond to Brian, Tim Meadows also took me out, but so did Bill Burr when he showed up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Right,
I felt the same.
Yeah. If you keep it like wasn't as bad if you keep watching. I mean, if you watch it a second
once you
time,
get used to it because you know what's coming. It's
not
like, oh my gosh, that's Tim Meadows.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, but they've done that. There's been a ton, like Brian Posehn. I mean, there's been a ton of comedians.
Yeah, that's true.
Mando. I mean, it's not like an abnormal thing for them to do, but I'm just like, give me somebody else there.
Captain Teva shows.
Do you want him like drinking Crevassier and?
No, I didn't want him doing anything. I didn't when I first saw it. I was like, no, I don't want this. But it's fine if you watch it again. It grows on you. It's not like he doesn't completely take me out of it. I mean, it's just, I don't know. In the very first moment I saw it, I was like, really?
I guess I'm glad Jason Sudeikis kept his helmet on, because then you guys would be like, oh,
dude, I would be. Finale. Yeah, I'd be like, no, we don't need Jason Sudeikis in this. Yeah, no. But Carson Teva, he had to go to Coruscant to make the requisition request, basically, to try and have more troops or whatever.
I like that moment a lot because it became the intersecting of a bunch of stories into one.
Yeah,
finally.
Yeah,
not terrible.
Right, and
and we got to see
Kane in there with, and she's sort of basically
not the greatest actor. The person that plays Kane.
Really? I disagree.
She's okay.
Oh, really?
I think she's good.
On my rewatch, I was like, okay, this is a little tough to watch.
Okay, so Brian maybe kind of agrees with you a little bit because he said he did find Kane's delivery sort of obvious.
I'll say
I'll have to watch it again.
I thought her acting was really good in that one episode with the cloner guy.
Pershing.
Yeah, with Pershing.
And Yes, I think it was better there. I think maybe part of the reason is because maybe Pershing it wasn't the greatest actor either.
Man,
that could be.
Maybe couldn't carry a full episode. But
maybe, yeah, maybe.
I think he played his nerdy, weird self fine. I don't know.
Yeah,
right.
Before we get Kane and Tim Meadows, though, we got Zeb.
We did.
Yeah, they walked into the.
Well, I'm not necessarily going chronologically.
Okay.
Yeah,
the Officers Club. We walked into the Officers Club, and there was Zeb.
I mean, all three directors were sitting at the bar also.
Yes.
Filoni, Fumiyawa, and
hat on.
Chow. Yeah, they were.
Oh, they were. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, all three of them were sitting there. They did two.
Kanawa.
I didn't notice it. Yeah,
because they
shot
were
far away, and then they were pilots in the second
season 1, maybe, or
it was season 1. It was the episode that Bill Burr was in.
Yeah, I remember that episode.
I didn't notice it either until I was watching the credits, and I paused it on like Zeb, and I was like, "Wait, Dave Filoni was in this episode? What in the world?" I was like, "Oh, Deborah Chow and Rick Famuyiwa. What?" So I rewound it, and I was like, "Oh, there they are."
They have names. They have like character names.
Yeah, Trapper Wolf, Jib
Wolf,
Dodger, and Sash Ketter.
Jib Dodger,
and Sash Ketter. Those are some good Star Wars names. I'm with that.
We'll take it. We'll take it.
So I mean, I'm thinking that they're wrapping in some of
So why show Zeb? I mean,
because I think that he was probably going to be a big part of this Rangers of the New Republic show. I think they were perhaps going to have, and so they're almost like wrapping in maybe a full storyline of Rangers of the New Republic.
It does feel like they threw the Rangers of the New Republic story in here.
I think they did.
I think that's what that last episode was too, or not the last episode, but the third episode.
Yeah, I think what they've decided they had to do was wrap some of what they were going to do with that series into this particular season, and it's working. I mean,
honestly, I'm fine with that because
it's fine.
Look, if that's what the whole show was going to be, I'm okay with it hijacking Mando for a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, we were going to have,
especially with the Gideon escape probably being a key part of that show too.
Right, I think all of that would have been a pretty big part of the series, and I think
I'd rather see the Gideon escape in Mando, but
I would have rather have seen that as well. But maybe, I don't know, they could still even do the Rangers of the New Republic show. I mean, who knows? I mean, they have a basis now. They've got
absolutely they could.
They've got their Midway-like base. I mean, that's what it felt like for me. Like it was like a Midway Island type base where all the pilots are meeting. I mean, it kind of,
you've lost that Mando feeling.
Yeah, I think that was point for Kane.
That it was supposed to be obvious. But see, Fett, for me, it was obvious that she was like pushing him towards this because he was on the right track. That's where it was obvious in her performance. Not so that she,
let's see, Ted. So that was the Imperial Mando that rescued Gideon, the one from Rebels.
I disagree.
There's some discussion about that.
Wait. Is he talking about Gar Saxon?
He's jumping us all the way to the end.
Okay.
So Ted's talking about Gar Saxon, like that particular group from Rebels. Okay.
Do we all want to say who we think broke him out on like the count of 3 or something?
No, you go first because you said you wrote down.
Jump into the end, but we can go ahead and do it.
No, we're not. We're just talking about the episode.
Let Jacob say because I don't have.
We're going out of order.
What if it's Sabine and Ahsoka?
But why?
Why would they break out?
Because he knows where Thrawn is.
But I feel like attacking a New Republic ship is something that I don't know.
No, I don't feel that.
And killing all the
murdering the pilots.
I don't know. So. That's fair, but the Beskar thing is just throwing me off.
The Beskar, I think, is planted there.
Oh yeah, I think it's planted. That's what I thought too. To try and make the New Republic think that the Mandalorians are involved.
What if it's Sabine without Ahsoka, and Sabine has like kind of lost a little bit of herself and is gone a little bit dark, and she's just
be part of some other sect of Mandalorian.
It could be Ash Cloven or Clovis, the guy from season 2, and the wrestler chick that were with.
I thought about that too. Like they're the Night's Watch.
It could be.
Yeah.
Because there is he said a line about we're going to try to. She can bring all the Mandalorians together.
Kincaid or whatever, I can't remember, who voiced him on Rebels, is going to be in one of the shows. So the guy that voiced Gar Saxon, I thought Gar Saxon was dead.
No, he was the one that followed Darth Maul, right?
No, Gar Saxon was.
No.
I mean, he may have done Maul stuff in Clone
may have
Wars,
done Maul.
but
Yeah,
he was the one that was like captured by Sabine and Freddie Prinze Jr.
Right. During
And
that particular arc, yeah,
was
Kanan,
like
Sabine
he was
Kanan,
like a prisoner, but was helping them, but was like still a prisoner, and was like kind of against them, but was not really against them. It was kind of weird, but
yeah.
I think he died.
Hey, we're talking about Mando,
I thought he died also. I don't know that Gar Saxon.
I don't remember.
I don't know. I can't remember. Ted might know more than I do. I can't really remember that story.
We maybe headed toward a Mando Civil War, but I think it's going to be more. I think it's going to be a uniting behind.
I think
Bo-Katan, right?
Bo-Katan's going to unite them. I think that's the storyline they're going with.
We're deep into some Mandalorian
he
lore.
Dead.
Yeah, he's dead. Yeah, Gar Saxon's dead. Oh wait, Finn Rao. Finn Rao.
That's who.
Yeah. Okay. I thought
there's a lot of names that Gen Pop doesn't know right there.
No, we've talked about that a little bit.
You introduce them within a different show. It's not.
That's what you do. All right, Red. We've kind of
watched that show before.
We've kind of clapped a lot, and we've had our moments.
We squealed with joy about
squealed with joy. We've said all the things that we love.
Happily consume product.
Yes. Let it wash over you. You're baptized in the product.
I mean, the Fern guy, Gorian.
Bring us back down to earth.
Bring us back
down to earth.
No, you know what? It makes me so happy to see my friends enjoy something. I don't have any. That the Mandalorian can bring that kind of joy to somebody.
Simplistic.
Kudos to it. I mean, how do you call something like that a failure when it achieves that? So I don't have anything negative to say about it.
Really? Okay.
Other than no.
If I were going to,
yes, critique.
I don't have anything like that. If this show brings happiness, then it is it's worthy. It has value, and that's what really matters. You know what?
Okay, Brian.
Let's
address Brian's thing. Why does Moff Gideon want the Darksaber back? Maybe he wants to lead Mandalore. I think that he is from Mandalore. I think Gideon's.
Oh, really?
I think he recognizes the power behind the Darksaber.
Why do you think he wants it back? Did he say he wanted it back? Or?
Well, that's like his whole thing. He wanted
it was his weapon, but
it was his weapon.
It was his, but nobody said he wanted it back. He just happened to have it and swung it around. Like
he was able to wield it better than Din Djarin, though.
Yeah, that's weird and stupid. So let's don't dive too deep into that. I think that's something that they just they're making up as they go.
Sometimes they make choices. You're like, no.
Well, there's got to be a point to that, though. That's why I thought he was a Mandalorian.
It's expounding off a line in Rebels when Kanan's teaching Sabine, and she's like, "Oh, it's heavier than I expected." They're like, "Oh, it's heavier than he expected. That means it's really heavy."
But why does Bo-Katan swing it easily with no?
Because she's
Mando. But Mando has always been kind of an indie type of character where he's always getting beat up and isn't always the quickest to pick things up. And
that's fair.
Well, he started strong though. I think
season one. Yeah, season one.
No, in the first episode, you see him start strong in that bar, and then from the episodes that go on, he starts getting beat up on on the side of crawlers and all kinds of. He's not really winning a lot.
The jaw was whooped him pretty good, right?
Yeah, they did.
That's what I'm saying. He's not getting tons of wins.
No, he's not. No,
he beat a crate dragon. Come on.
That was Baby Yoda.
50 others.
that was Baby Yoda that kind of took that.
Wasn't that the? No, that was the.
No. Yeah, they blew
the
rhinoceros.
Matterhorn. What do you call it?
No, the Matterhorn.
The Mudhorn. Yeah.
He conquered the Disneyland roller coaster.
Yeah, Ted's right. Mando's not the smart.
No, Mando's an idiot. He's sunk. He doesn't know how to swim.
Is that
He's
right?
Sunk to the bottom.
Is he purposely an idiot or is he written poorly?
No. Let's not talk about
Well,
that.
I'm not trying to that's a real.
That's a good question. That's a real good question.
Do they intend for the antagonist to be a dumbass who gets his butt handed to him all the time, who is kind of embarrassing to watch, or did they intend that, or is it just an accident because they're not writing him particularly well?
I
think having some ineptitude is kind of realistic, and I kind of
think
enjoy
it's endearing.
That.
I think it's like, he's an everyman.
See a lot of that in our heroes, though, right?
But you do in things like Indy and some other serial characters. But
yeah, I mean, I think that there's nothing wrong with it. I would rather him not be. Yeah, I would rather see him struggle a bit. I mean,
he's not John Wick. He's not.
But you're saying he's an idiot.
John Wick gets the.
I never said he was an idiot. That was Ted.
I'm gonna. We're all guilty by association. You all think he's an idiot now.
Jacob and Ted's excellent adventure, calling Mando an idiot.
You think he's an idiot?
I don't think he's.
Maybe idiot's a little bit. I don't think he's the smartest button in the world.
The thing that I think the most important trait is his loyalty. For me,
to whom? Grogu?
No. He's
Grogu
and to Grief Karga.
Anyone that does right by him.
Yeah, he's loyal.
He's honorable.
Honorable, yes, right?
Honorable. Sure. He pays his debts. Mandalorian always pays his debts, or something.
Yeah, I think that.
What'd you think of this episode, Rhett? Give us your take.
I don't remember much of it.
What'd you think of Zeb?
I thought he looked pretty good. I don't have any connection to the character. Probably wouldn't have clicked with me that's who it was if I didn't know. I thought he looked a lot like the aliens from Battleship.
Oh, yeah.
He does.
I haven't seen that.
I haven't seen Battleship.
Yeah, it looks like
I've never seen it.
Battleship's a better show than better
with Rihanna.
No,
it's Liam Neeson movie.
Yes,
Liam Neeson. Well, it's not. Liam Neeson is in it long enough to glance off screen at the check he got.
Rihanna's in it, right? Rihanna.
Rihanna's not the worst thing about that movie.
She's actually not half bad in that movie. I don't know how that happened, but
Rihanna's not the worst thing in that movie.
It's inexplicable how that happened, but it did somehow happen.
Yeah, it's just a big dumb thing.
Yeah, no, Fett's right. Look, Fett's right. Bounty hunters are not good or bad. Yeah, it's a job. Exactly.
Oh, he's not a bounty hunter anymore.
It's chaotic neutral.
Chaotic neutral.
But he's not a bounty hunter. He doesn't do that anymore. He's something else now. He is a hero now.
We don't really have any bounty hunters in this anymore.
No.
Yeah. And like everyone else, they don't have a villain.
I think he's kind of a reluctant hero right now, because he's trying to take care of Grogu. He doesn't seem to, and he wants to get back with his covert, but he doesn't seem to want to be able to take up leadership right now.
No,
and at some point he's going to have to, and I think that's
I don't understand his motivation. I don't understand his motivation to even be part of the covert.
Well, because that's like his family.
But
that's the people he knows.
No, but they were.
Sort of, but he wasn't. I mean, he was loosely affiliated with them before, just out doing his own thing.
Right.
Like, as it stands right now, his
now he wants to live with them. Like, he's supposed to settle down and
that's fine. If that's the character's motivation right in this moment, that's okay.
Is that his motivation, though? No, he hasn't expressed any motivation.
Yes, he has, because he talks about wanting to be able to train his kid.
Grandson.
He wants to train his foundling. That's like his whole deal.
He hasn't said that. We've seen him suggest
he's taking him from the Jedi way.
Like, I need to take Grogu here for training. He's there, and he's like, Grogu, do some training. That was never his motivation.
Then he said that. That's him saying that's his motivation. He wants his foundling to be trained in the ways of the Mandalore.
That's not how you write the text.
So he doesn't have something's obviously going to happen in the last 3 episodes that forces him out of his comfort zone to become the hero again. I don't think he wants to rule Mandalore. I think he wants Bo-Katan to rule Mandalore.
I'm not saying he has to rule Mandalore to be a leader, but I think he still has to be a leader in some way.
He will.
He kind of was in a way in this episode when he went in front of the covert and kind of had that little speech. He let what's his face come up and also have a speech. I mean, so Paz Vizsla, yeah. I mean, so he had a few moments of leadership.
Of Vizsla, not the pre-Vizsla.
Right.
Do you guys have another podcast somewhere where you're just absolute Disney shills and they give you a lot of money and you're just trying to like, stick to it? Or
that's Dave.
I legitimately liked this episode.
Okay.
It's called the Main Street Electrical.
It wasn't as good as Bad Batch.
Dave gets all of our shill money.
Exactly. It felt more Star Wars than the first 4 episodes did.
Listen, I'm going to a couple of bold statements here. First, I'm going to be a serious one, and that is that I think the show is hurt because there is no villain.
There's though.
Loose.
But they finally sort of did something.
Sort of, but you still haven't. Like there still hasn't been a villain, and even in each episode, there are these minor antagonists, but they're so minor, and there is often no reckoning. If you think about a Marvel movie, you've got. Each movie had a villain, and then you had the overarching villain where you had these things manipulating things in the background, right? But each villain got a resolution, and that's probably not the best example because some of those villains were pretty lightweight and underdeveloped, right?
Sure.
But at least you have a villain. There's not been a villain in his. You had Gorian Shard, who on his third scene died. Okay,
we don't know he's dead. He's still alive.
Michael wants to live.
Michael exploded a fireball.
I want him to live. He's going to be the villain in Skeleton Crew.
Gorian Shard is dead. Excuse all that.
I know.
But when did Moff show up in season 1? I mean, that was pretty late.
But we had watched this, and then we had the I want to see the baby. We had that guy right away.
Yeah,
right away.
We have a mystery going on, though, right?
Yeah. There was something going on.
Yeah.
Well, right now, there's a mystery. There's a mystery.
We've had Kane. We've had Kane in 2 episodes now.
Right.
I agree with Rhett that I would agree with you, Earl, that there is a mystery here currently. I think there was a stronger mystery in season 1.
Yeah. We all understand that they're moving towards something, but they have barely. We know they are because that's how things work. But they've done a very poor job of showing that they're moving towards something, other than a couple of offhand references to Gideon, and then the stinger on this episode was pretty well done.
Yeah.
Although I think it was over narrated. This show suffers quite a bit from it tell don't show instead of show don't tell. Like, we see that there. We
see them all dead. We maybe only needed that last voiceover of there's a piece of Mandalorian armor.
Or the before that, there's a prison ship missing, the one that was taken. We could put that crap together, without it being spoon fed to us like
not
that.
Star Wars fans.
Yeah, I mean,
well, there aren't very many fans at all remaining to watch this in the first place.
They're so full of crap. Yes, there is.
Hey, watch the ratings. This thing is under Boba Fett.
Oh no, really?
Under Book of Boba?
The ratings are below Boba Fett. Total watch minutes is way down, and that is including
the shorter episodes
1 and 2. Okay,
I want to add something just real quick to that conversation. I follow Entertainment Strategy Guy, who runs like the ultimate guide on this stuff. Has a Substack that you have to pay for to get all the stats. But yes, it is down. This season is down. It's still like top 4 right now in all of streaming, and that's
all of streaming, huh?
In original shows, but
really.
But they're not. When he says that, they're not including stuff that streams both on like a cable channel and streaming. They're not including
Succession.
Yeah, they're not including
every single show is down across the board. It's not
well, there's
just.
So many. Yeah, and that's going to be the trend from now on.
Too many.
I think
too
so.
Many shows.
Well, there's more and more.
I think that's alarm bells for streaming companies.
It should be alarm bells, but it's not. It should be though.
So I think it's hurt. And just to close the loop there, I think it's hurt by not having a very well defined villain and a real arc. It's been a little spotty with all of that, and that hurts. That hurts the narrative quite a bit. It gives you. There's this open-ended feeling to everything where you just don't get any sort of satisfying resolution. And I think that's hurting it a little bit. It wasn't as bad. We had some more self-contained stuff prior to this. And this is the one that I mean it, and I hope you'll take it in the right way and hear me out on it. I enjoyed She-Hulk more than I am Mandalorian. And let me tell you what.
Well, I'm not taking that the right way. That's them they're fighting words.
Let me tell you what. I loved hating She-Hulk. Hey, I loved it.
Mhm.
Like some of the most enjoyment I've ever had is the feeling of hate I had for She-Hulk. Okay, it made me happy.
It did not make me happy.
I don't hate Mandalorian. There's
She-Hulk
nothing to
is
hate
much
about
more fun to hate than
Yeah.
Mandalorian is, for
Well,
sure.
Yeah,
Because
I mean,
Mandalorian is fun to love.
There's
Exactly.
nothing I hate about Mandalorian. What I hate, or there's nothing to hate. Like it's not. I don't hate Mandalorian. I hate that Mandalorian isn't better. I don't hate that it's bad. I hate that it's not better.
It's
And
just
there's
bland.
There's a distinction there.
So my feeling on this episode was, my personal feeling was, this was the most Mando feeling episode of the season to me.
Yeah.
And that it felt like a return to baseline, and that the baseline in overall Mando, it's the baseline, but it's the peak for this season. My hope is that it goes up from there, but
I think it will. These last 3 episodes will be good.
And in this episode, you had a closed arc, right? Like something happened, it was resolved.
It felt like a Mando episode.
It felt like a good episode that you can enjoy. There wasn't anything like this episode was. Yeah, it was fine. There's not a whole lot to hate. I mean, part of the the Star Wars world building, when you start talking about the planets and how, that's always been kind of a weird problem in Star Wars, where there's this uniform, there's the water planet, there's the lava planet, there's the mountain planet, there's the whole planet, there's the, so we've got Navarre, and they've got this settlement on it, right?
With 30 people.
That it looked very small, and I understand the limitations of a TV show budget. But then the Mandalorian, he's like, well, we'll give you this tract of land right here. Well, there's a whole ass planet here. Okay, like why can't they settle on the other side of the planet?
Rhett, the High Magistrate only has this land, so
Well, but who's got
the rest? The whole planet?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, who's got
a lava mining company has the rest of the planet?
Or hear me out on this. Go back to Mandalore. Hey, he keeps talking. Bo-Katan keeps talking about going back. We got to retake
the
Mandalore.
armor.
Guess what? Yeah. You had retaken it already. You were there. You were literally on Mandalore. It's yours. You're the only one there.
We don't know that yet. There's those creatures and
so what?
Those monkey things that are like.
It's stupid. But it's a stupid thing.
There was really interesting setup to me, though, of that Navarro is this very important planet. And
it is now. Like
there's 30 people.
Is that where the Mandalorian?
That's not the important stuff. Trade hub. Empire.
It was that the Empire seems to be so interested in this planet. Right. Why is that?
Yeah.
I thought that was.
We don't know yet.
I mean, if that doesn't lead to anywhere, then that's bad. But I thought that was interesting.
See, they're going to see. I hate that kind of crap where there's some secret lore about this planet that everybody's got to. Is there a holocron?
Maybe there's a cloning facility on the planet.
Yeah, there could be a cloning facility.
Maybe there is. But, if you're like a covert. What does that mean? Well, that means hidden. Okay,
and they go fight.
So maybe settling on a busy trade hub.
Well, but that was a turning point.
They're no longer a covert.
They're no longer a covert. They're about to have it. They want to unite. Everything's going to be. They're going to be back to their powerful self that they once were in the galaxy.
A woman that walks both paths.
Yes.
Yeah, well, they should have.
Now she's taken her helmet off.
Well, it makes more sense if they had settled somewhere near water, because they can shoot the hell out of some water.
No. They have upgraded, and they're now going to be shooting the hell out of some lava.
A mountain. Like, it's even easier now. They're like, look at this mountain we can shoot.
Yes. They are now
over.
Not covert. They are over. I love it.
Good point. What's Ted say here? Is Navarro one of the planets you can play in a Star Wars Battlefront? I don't
know.
I don't
think so. There is some sort of.
I have
I'm thinking about wasting my money and buying a PS5.
I got one.
There's a new game, right?
What's Nia Nub's character species?
Celestian.
Yeah, something like that.
Something, I don't know.
Wherever he's from is a lava planet that you can play on.
That's right, Fett. They are they do have better shots than traditional stormtroopers. Yes,
they are, yeah.
We're talking about the pirates?
Good for them. No, Mandos.
Oh, yeah, Mandos. Yeah.
Now, I noticed in this shootout, none of the blaster fire was bouncing off of their Beskar like it does our plot armored hero.
Well, not all of them have like
not only
straight
he
up.
has
Their
Beskar.
alloys are not as strong.
Yeah.
You know.
They've given out Beskar
Beskar
like
very...
crazy to babies and everybody else. And
babies.
But I am pretty sure that they explained, and I could be wrong, that they explained in the first season that those Beskar alloys were really
rare.
weak. Because they didn't have as much Beskar. And of
Yeah.
course, then Mando, of course, gets all
Mando
of it.
has
in
the
that
best
first season.
Beskar.
He has the best.
That's why he can't lift the sword
He has
because
the Beskar.
the armor is so heavy.
Well, he got the good. He got it out of that spear, right? Like he did.
Yeah.
He
He melted that spear down.
Camtono full of that stuff.
Yeah, he got the Camtono from director guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look, like I said, this episode was I was pretty indifferent to it. It wasn't anything to hate about it.
I
thought the score was a bit better.
I actually thought the score was okay for one episode. It was
a bit better.
Okay. It didn't noticeably anger me, which is an improvement over previous episodes.
Right. I thought that there was some actual.
If we get, I mean, when we get to season 4, I hope they can get Ludwig to come back because I mean,
obviously season 3 is going to be what it is, and I think when they reflect on what has become of the show, I think I expect season 4 to feel different. Look, the pacing on this season has not been good. It's been really slow. Now you can go the other way, and you think of a J.J. Abrams in
Lightspeed skipping.
Yeah, any of that, like that's almost Michael Bay-esque the way JJ does it, where it's just everybody runs everywhere.
Right.
Nobody just nobody stops and has a conversation. It's always
you can go too far.
Exploding in the background if they are.
Yeah, I do say I
need that.
I do kind of prefer the JJ pacing a little bit.
Well, I want a little bit more pacing, but then you think of Andor, and Andor is very slow paced.
Yeah.
But
I mean, that is Star Wars though. Star Wars is supposed to be faster, more intense. It's supposed to have a little bit of a.
New Hope isn't. Like if you go back to A New Hope, man, it's a slog. Okay.
For the 70s, A New Hope was.
For the 70s, it was pretty zippy.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what movie is fast paced and awesome? Solo. That's what movie is. That right there.
Got the best Han Solo.
Solo.
It is the best Han Solo movie. Standalone movie. So Andor was very slow paced. I mean, that's one of the things that people had a problem with. But while it was slow paced, you could feel a visceral tension building, and there's nothing about Mandalorian that is building any kind of real tension to offset the slow pace. Yeah, so has the show.
He got R5.
We
R5.
We don't need IG-11.
No way.
Hey,
coming back.
I loved the Babu Fricks in this episode.
Yeah.
I loved seeing those little guys. They're so cute.
I clapped.
Yeah.
And then he was like, "Hey guys, come here and look at this." And all of a sudden, they can speak English well. He was like that one sentence they said was like, "Hey, come look at this."
Have you got a Babu Frick stuffy yet?
I need
We've
one.
got a couple.
I've got a baby Yoda one. I need one bad.
I don't have one.
R5 is a snitch, by the way.
Who?
R5 is a snitch.
Yeah, you got to watch him.
Yeah,
I'm surprised they didn't kill him after.
Yeah.
I want a Carson Teva bomber.
Thank you for reminding me.
Oh, great. See what you've done now,
There
Ross.
is something to hate about this episode, and it is Tim Meadows.
Yeah, we talked about how awful he was. Except the guys love him. They love him.
They were okay with Tim.
Garrison, they love him.
That scene is terrible.
I needed him to be drinking some Courvoisier and
obviously
on the
phone they're undoing the New Republic, right? So they can to bring for first order purposes.
Yes,
But this is an embarrassing way to do it. Okay, that's two looks at the New Republic.
Tear down the New Republic
where they are just trash garbage. Like, is this what
bureaucracy
has what our heroes fought for? Is this what Princess Leia and Luke,
and that's why she's not really a part of it,
gave their lives?
That's why they're disillusioned on a mountain.
Somewhere. This is why you end.
It kind of makes you wish
Luke
would have just joined Vader.
Sorry, this is why you end the fantasy stories before they build the government, because when they actually have to build the government, there's going to be issues.
Yeah, the messy,
especially when you're governing an entire galaxy.
Don't show us the politics of all of this, and and that part I find just really offensive, and I don't understand because they have established that you can go anywhere in this galaxy far away in like 2 minutes. like
Why
instantly.
not?
And they're like, oh, we don't have the resources to get over there, but bro, walk across the street. Like that'd be like the house across the street's on fire, and I'm in my living room, and they're like, hey, the house on fire. I'm like, oh, I can't get out there and do anything with
Well,
that.
no, the whole point was that Navarro had not signed the dotted
They
line.
did not
that wasn't
sign
the
the
whole
treaty.
point. No, that was an excuse, but the whole point was, oh, we don't have the resources. We can't fly.
We
don't have the resources because there was other planets that are part of the New Republic already that were asking for stuff.
I think the other point was it's the Outer Rim.
And the Outer Rim.
Who cares about the Outer Rim?
Nobody cared about the Outer Rim.
Well,
no one cares about.
When we see at the end of Return of the Jedi, when everybody is celebrating, they do make a point to show big crowd on Tatooine celebrating the crap out of the fall of the Empire. Okay,
well,
so it is not so far flung that they're not participants in the world.
Yeah.
So it's still sloppy world building. I mean, you guys, if it doesn't bother you, that's fine. It doesn't have to bother you.
It doesn't bother me as much as it bothers you.
Yeah, well, a lot of things.
We didn't love that scene.
Like
as much as they bother.
Like I thought Kane wasn't great in it. I agree with some of your points, but it isn't going to. The episode that was such a little focus on, I know that it could be a problem and could continue to be a problem, but for this episode alone, I had a lot of fun.
Oh, well, that's just 2 times. That's just 2 times now. The 2 glimpses we've seen of the New Republic.
The Republic will downsize their military.
Can I also say that yes, we see a celebration on Coruscant starting in 1997.
Right.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Return of the Jedi Special Edition.
Special edition.
And then on Blu-ray, don't we see Naboo?
Oh, we saw all kinds of stuff. Yeah. I mean,
so Fett, I'll unfortunately have to ask, like, when do they say they're downsizing their military? I mean,
that's a standard move. You demilitarize after a giant war. Everybody comes home. There's massive unemployment as you reintegrate and all this other stuff. So that you can assume that without them going into it, just based on kind of the nature of things. And we do see they're decommissioning all the Imperial stuff, right?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Using
their scientists to go to the moon.
Yeah, and you got to think the Republic, or the Rebel fleet was not in great shape at the end.
No, it was hodgepodge. Yeah.
And whatever happened,
medical frigates were in the.
I know
it was more the Mon Calamari frigates. Like, if without the Mon Calamari, they would have been totally screwed.
Mon Calamari probably should have taken over and said, "We're."
I know something happened on Jakku. There's some nonsense about
Chuck Wendig
books and crap and all that.
Chuck Wendig happened on Jakku.
I don't care about the books, and I'm sure they didn't do a great job explaining how do you defeat the.
I read those books and I don't even remember.
Those are some of the few ones that I listened to, and
I really don't remember those books that well.
I remember Bones and the guy that Greg Gunberg plays.
Yeah,
and you don't, these Imperial warlords, like, it's a weird little, that's not how wars end. When the war's over, when the leadership is decapitated and the capital's taken, that winds down. Or you hunt them down, right? And you keep fighting until that stuff is eliminated.
You escape to Brazil.
This passivity from the New Republic about all the bad things going on and continuing to go on in the galaxy is just weird. And you think of
now Carson Teva doesn't
our heroes that we have known and loved for many decades now to have influence on the leadership side of that. And if they do, then they are failing epically. And I think it retroactively makes the characters we like crappier. By seeing the New Republic in the state it is. And what worries me is not that they chose to do that, it's that they didn't consider it. Like, I don't think they realize the impact that it has. They're just putting stuff on a page. And that's what bothers me about all of it.
Well, I mean, we know. Well, I guess if you haven't read the books, you kind of don't know what happens with Leia.
No, but I'm so much happier and better off for not having read the books.
You are.
So what happens on Jakku? What am I missing?
It's just I don't know. There's a book. There is a book where Leia kind of gets disillusioned with the bureaucrocy of the New Republic. I can't remember what new.
Well, but all of that is. Let me tell you what that is. That all the books are retcons. The books are always to fix crap from the movies and the other series. That's been their role forever.
Always
fill in the blanks that we didn't do a good job of. So how Leia ends up disconnected from government on the resistance. So now you got to go back. Well, let's make sure in a crap book somewhere that we shat out that she gets disillusioned so we can explain why she's here late. That's how that works. That's what those books are.
Not all the time.
We've got to have every second of their breathing.
They can't be more than that.
That's how the Disney Star Wars books are. I will fully agree with that. And then the Disney Star Wars books will also be deathly afraid to even mention the name Luke Skywalker.
Garrison, you have something you wanted to say?
The books before kind of sucked anyway. So
yeah, look, I agree.
The EU.
I like the EU. I thought they had the same problem where they were taking. We never understood who Boba Fett was. Well, now he's Jaster Muriel. We got to fix the fact that he said parsec. And he made it like a measure of time. So
a lot of comics in the EU canon that put a bunch of stuff out. That why did that guy bump his head? We got to explain that.
Let's have
we need a backstory.
Going into his ship and attack the clones.
Yeah, so the EU had its own problems too, but the EU wasn't serving any master but its own.
Right.
It did not have to put the pieces together.
Right.
In a certain way. And now the books do have to do that. And I think I mean, I don't know if it hurts them or not. The truth is I haven't read a single word of it, and I never will as long as I live. If I am if I lock myself in a vault like Burgess Meredith in that Twilight Zone episode,
don't break your
the
glasses.
world is destroyed, and I'm left all alone with Star Wars books, I will burn them all to stay warm. Okay. I'll never read a word.
You're breaking Fetmatic's heart. Well, I don't know if that's.
I've read a ton of the books. Also, I could not stick with the New Republic, or I'm sorry, the High Republic. I couldn't stick with the High. Even I stopped reading the High Republic books.
Now, Michael weeps openly at Star Wars novels.
I did. Those princess ones are good. That trilogy is really good. The Padme books. I cried at the end of one of those.
Oh my goodness, that's so nice.
They were good books.
That's wonderful, Michael.
You want to speak of starting something several times and not finishing it?
What's that?
The Thrawn trilogy. Anyway, let's move on.
Well,
it will be finished now in Ahsoka.
There's 3 different Thrawn trilogies now. I think there's 3 different.
2 of them are canon now. So.
Yeah, two of the 3 are canon Thrawn trilogies, and I think in a way they are going to make the original Thrawn trilogy canon as well. I think there's going to be stuff that they're pulling out of those. Because who is Christopher Lloyd going to be in this series?
That's a great question because he was announced from Hollywood Reporter. And who is Christopher Lloyd?
Who is Christopher Lloyd? He's Jorah Kaboth from the Thrawn trilogy. Look at Red. I knew Red.
Thank you. What I hated most about Star Wars are apostrophes.
I hope before we get into a Thrawn trilogy that people start saying Coruscant. Because I listened to an audiobook of that book. And it was like driving me up the wall.
I guess that's better than saying Coruscant or something.
Oh no, it's how it was pronounced because no one but George pronounced it Coruscant.
Okay, wait, Brian's got some good stuff here. These shows are recounting the movies 7 and 9. I think we're going to see the First Order, Exegol after all this.
Bad Batch doing the same thing.
I don't think.
I wouldn't say.
Yeah, they're headed the same way.
I hope Thrawn doesn't have much to do. I don't think Thrawn. I don't think Thrawn's going to have much to do with anything.
Not even with the rise of the new First Republic Order Empire, whatever it's called.
Okay, so if Thrawn is the real Thrawn, his ultimate goal is for the Chiss Empire to rule everything. He doesn't care about the
Mikey,
old Empire, the First Order.
But that's set up within those new Thrawn books. Here's the thing: if Filoni doesn't want that to be the case,
I know. But if it's the real Thrawn, all he cares about is the Chiss Empire.
They don't have the makeup budget for the Chiss Empire.
The Chiss Empire.
They don't.
I mean, yeah, sure they do.
No,
they didn't have the extra budget to make Navarro populated.
They can't put more than 24 people. They can't get 24 people on
Navarro's. Why do you guys think Navarro's some bustling? Like they're not going to have that many people living on
there's
the
a lot
outer
of
rim.
buildings there, and there were like 30 people.
You can't build that level of a city with that few people.
Why would that only be? There's an
Does each person have 3 houses?
Yeah, they showed them all. They all evacuated the city, and they're all standing there.
I don't think that was everyone, but
I don't think it was everyone.
Some of them went to the hills.
No, some of them were staying behind to serve the pirates.
Maybe some of them. Maybe some of them had like underground bunkers, like
like the Mandalorian. Oh, they found the Mandalorian's bunkers.
Navarro doesn't find a bunch of them in the covert. Like, oh, wait.
Yeah, wait, I'm under this helmet. What? Hey.
I don't even think Navarro is like as big as Tatooine, like Mos Eisley. I think
absolutely not.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, so I mean,
I don't think anyone.
It was an outpost for bounty hunters.
Okay, look, Fett. I hope that they're not taking any instruction from Bob Iger about Star Wars. I really hope that they're not. I mean, because that would be ridiculous. Sure, Bob can say that doesn't look cool, make it look cooler, but
he had a big fight with Kathleen Kennedy.
That is such a crap.
And look, we know Disney and Bob Iger like blue people. Yeah. Look at
Wait
Avatar.
a minute. Oh, hang on. We got to do the scoop banner. The scoop banner.
I had a reckoning.
There you
go. A reckoning. You're so full.
Bob Iger, clearly a fan of blue people because of how much Avatar 2 made. He's all for blue people back in Star Wars.
Yeah, you can hire the Blue Man Group if you need
more
some
power to him.
Get Tobias.
Yeah. Tobias. From Arrested Development.
They just have a bunch of chiss walking around in jean shorts.
That prematurely blew themselves. Yeah.
Oh, they blew themselves.
Never nude.
Never nude.
Oh,
look, that would be more entertaining than what we're getting. Now, like I said, I'm pretty indifferent about this one. I didn't hate it. I don't hate the show. I'm just kind of indifferent to it, and that's worse because it doesn't bring me in. It doesn't spark joy. And I'm not even kidding when I enjoyed watching She-Hulk more because I just saw what's just scene after scene was the worst thing I've ever seen. And when you see something more terrible than you've ever seen before, that's an achievement. Like you feel like you're making progress. I'm getting something out of this that I'm not getting.
The hatred is building. You're feeling the hatred.
I got personally, if I deeply hate something, I can't continue to watch it just because it bothers me that much.
Rhett lets it seep in.
No, I bailed on Halo. I couldn't finish Halo.
Oh,
I didn't even start Halo.
I
was a PlayStation guy.
Yeah, well, I'm not.
Screw Xbox.
I had them all, but I didn't. Halo was a travesty. It wasn't even good, like general sci-fi. Not just that they butchered the IP. No, I won't stay on She-Hulk, but yeah, the Mandalorian is fine. It's fine.
Yeah, it's like me watching After Sun. I'm like, oh yeah, this should be better, but I'm, yeah.
You didn't like After Sun?
After Sun, what is that?
It's a movie.
It was a movie.
It's a movie.
It's great.
All right. Well, I think we've said as much as we possibly can. I think we've said as much as
Terrence Malick with.
It's not Terrence Malick
with Paul Mescal
films.
No, I'm just kidding.
I thought it was an okay movie, but okay.
I didn't see it.
Just no.
All right, let's go around the horn here. Garrison, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me on Twitter at GRyfin3, GRYFUN3, and on Instagram as well. You can find me at Letterboxd at GRyfin, where I'm hopefully going to be watching some movies soon.
I was about to say, do you watch movies anymore?
Yeah, no, I've seen like 50-something films this year, so not
Hey,
bad.
You're doing better than I have if you've seen that many. I mean,
wow.
Yeah, I'm on like 53.
Thanks for hanging out, man. Wow, you're doing better. I'm way low compared to that.
Yeah, 52.
What? Fett.
Fett.
Meant Fett.
I had to look up to see if Rhett was still there.
Roth, where can people find you, and what's coming next for a Good Day for a Movie podcast?
Yes, let's see. So Roth from Wyoming on the socials, Letterboxd as well. I've seen 61 movies this year.
You guys
I watched
2,
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I watched 8 movies since Friday.
Dude,
man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen 8 movies in a week. So no.
Yeah, that's
Roth,
good.
you should have given up movies for Lent or something.
No.
Did you see Dungeons and Dragons?
I have not yet.
Man,
that was a lot
fun
of
movie.
I was preparing. The reason I saw so many, I was preparing for my Deucecast appearance.
I know
that'll come out tomorrow.
important.
That's true.
But
we're looking forward to that tomorrow.
Brian, see you in the Discord, man.
The last episode of the Good Day for a Movie podcast was Ben-Hur to
Great movie.
for Holy Week. It was a lot of fun.
Judah Ben-Hur.
Tate and Sage's grandma joined us for the first 10 minutes or so.
That's awesome.
And she gave her review and talked about some of the hunks of old Hollywood and her
Oh,
love of Charlton Heston.
Easy, Grandma.
Did she speak about Cary Grant? I must know.
No, I brought him up and she's like, "Oh yeah, I liked him too." It was Cary Grant.
What kind of show was this now?
Who? Paul Newman, Robert Redford.
What about Jimmy Stewart?
No, I did not bring Jimmy Stewart up. I didn't want to offend.
not
Jimmy
much
Stewart's
of
a
a
little
hunk.
bit older.
He's a military hero. I mean,
He's
not much of a hunk,
He's an
though.
everyman.
He's
kind
like,
of an
you
everyman.
know.
This woman sounds like a hot cougar in your area.
That's awesome.
She's feisty. I'll give her
Oh,
that.
okay.
She's awesome. She was a lot of
cool.
fun. Our next episode is A Man Called Otto. I watched it last night and I was openly weeping through the last half hour.
Oh,
okay.
You're such a sensitive guy, Jacob.
I look. I would be the same way if they did an adaptation of all three of those Queen
Amidala,
books. Yeah, if they did a live action adaptation.
The last time I cried at a book was when Hedwig died.
Oh, yeah.
Last
Hedwig-
time I cried in a
Spoiler alert.
book was last year, and I will not go into more details.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Thank
that's
you.
fair. That's
Keep
fair.
it close, man.
Dr. Earl.
Just the
is
last
off-
page. The last page of the Green Mile got me
Oh,
many years ago.
Really?
no, that's fair.
Okay.
Ruined me.
That's fair.
Oh, the Green Mile. I'm so sorry. I thought he was.
The Green Room. What? No.
No, I thought Green Book. I was
The
like,
Green.
Oh, Green
That's
Book.
what I thought he was
Oh,
the first to
maybe.
say too.
That's yeah. Dr. Earl's off the grid, but he
Off
can
the grid.
occasionally be found in the Deucecast, hanging out in the pretentious corner. So,
The last page of Netter's Anatomy got me when I was doing my cadaver. I'm just kidding.
That's good, Earl.
Now I'm in the Discord
That's
somewhere.
good. Rhett, where can people find you?
In line to cancel my Disney Plus subscription.
Okay.
Taking a double.
I am at the Michael Nip on most social medias. Also, mostly in the Deucecast, though. That's where I enjoy my social media time, is mostly in our Deucecast. So we will be back next week for sure to talk about the 6th episode of Mandalorian. Rhett, I don't know what we're going to do without you, man. I'm sad already.
I'll try to get in. I'll make it some. I'll pop in.
Sometime. Maybe at least for the finale, so you can talk about how much you hated the show.
Yeah. I'll pop in
Maybe.
at the end of. Yeah.
So that'll be fun. Appreciate everybody that hung out in the chat. Brian, Fett, we had Ted in there for a little bit. I think that was about it tonight. So it was fun. A lot of good interaction, though. A lot of good questions being asked in the chat. So we always appreciate that. If you happen to come across this, please give us a like, subscribe, throw some
Smash
comments
that
in
bell.
there. Help
that button.
the algorithm is really all that we're doing. So I hope everybody has a great night, and we will be back next week to talk some more Mandalorian. Peace out.